I'm not just exhausted from the last year and a half, I'm feeling pretty wounded, and even wounded by my church, who is wonderful. My church is lovely. And that's not a pity party or an indictment on them. I actually think that getting wounded by the people you serve is part of the pastoral call. I've been deeply shaped. I read this little book last summer, and I wouldn't even necessarily recommend the book, but it was on like basically about Pauline theology. It was a weird academic little book. Pauline theology of pastoring, like what's Paul's theology of what it means to be a pastor. It was really interesting. And there was this chapter in there on Paul's theology of leadership is vicarious suffering.
Mm.
And of course, 2 Corinthians would be the kind of great case text for this, but there's lots of other places too. Paul seems, his whole thing like death is at work in us, but life is at work in you. Or we are comforted so that you can receive comfort, He has this, we have this treasure in jars of clay. It's this whole theology of how he's allowing his suffering for the gospel and for orthodoxy and for standing for truth was full of meaning for him. It
Mm.
was vicarious, not in the sense that he was suffering for the atonement of the churches he planted, but in a Christ-like way. He was suffering in their place. He was allowing persecution, pressure, emotional pain, exhaustion, and in his case, death and martyrdom and torture into his body in order for healing and life and forgiveness and freedom to flow through him to the churches that he was
Mm.
pastoring. And this is the Christ-like path of the cruciform way and the downward kind of spirituality of descent, that as we pastoring is suffering love. And as we get to participate in the sufferings of Christ, which I've never really understood that until the last year, I really feel like I have been participating in the sufferings of Christ. I'm not sinless like Christ. I've said and done stupid things that were well worthy of drawing people's ire. I'm not talking about that stuff. But I've also stood for Jesus and for orthodoxy and for his church and for his call to discipleship and obedience, and have been at an emotional level, not a physical level, persecuted for that and hurt for that and attacked for that and slandered for that. And that's a way of me allowing that pain into my body and that wounding into my body so that healing can flow to others,
Mm.
And there's that odd psychology where people attack their caregivers, and it's actually because they feel safe with them. And we often get attacked by the people that we want to serve because they're full of pain and they need somewhere to offload that pain. And our job is to absorb that and to be the place where that anger, hate, acrimony, where it ends. And to not, I think it was Tyson, our mutual friend, who said our job right now is to be crucified in public and not retaliating kind.
Wow.
And I think that's part of our job, and I'm probably making it sound more heroic and making myself sound like way more of an innocent victim than I actually am. I am full of legitimate things to criticize and critique. But I do think that's part of the pastoral call in this
Mm.
season. And if what we value in life is looking and feeling good, then this is a great time to stop being a pastor. But if we want to follow the cruciform way and we want to be free from our own need to
Yeah.
look and feel good, which is really the great oppression, it's really the great bondage, is constantly having to look and
Mhm.
feel good. If we want to be free of that, to where looking and feeling good, if it happens, is a gift, but it's not required for us to be deeply at peace. That's it, man. And that's that's punching way over my weight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not there yet. I remember when my spiritual director was talking to me about how, the natural human bent is we feel okay in our inner world when our outer world is all at peace and okay.
Yeah.
And he just said to me, quote, "You must mature beyond this."
Mm.
And he defined maturity as being able to calmly hold reality in your mind and be at peace.
Mm.
So can we be in a world where I know that preaching this Sunday is going to get people who are really mad at me or even hate me? And I know that if I make this decision, I will get a lot of people mad and some people will even leave my church. Can I hold that reality calmly in my mind and be deeply at peace? and grateful and in the moment with Jesus in my community. That I think that's something of a vision of what maturity looks like for a pastor. And I'm not there yet, but I'd like to think that I'm on the very long path.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.